back end of the lockdown, and after the first few weeks of this pandemic hitting our country, we really, as a responsible corporate citizen, thought about how do we actually address two issues. One is the impact on the vulnerable and disadvantaged people in our communities. How do we assist them and provide them with actual resources and funds? Because we looked at something, and the second thing is with the lockdown and people not being able to work and no events, we really looked at how can we combine an event so that we can actually also provide the people with some physical exercise, promote something positive amidst all this negativity. And with OTB Sport, we then came up with this, I think, a really nifty and great concept of having a virtual run and race over a fixed route over a 2-week period, where people can go and redo and challenge their family to go and do one of the 3 distances, and the feedback we've received from this event has been really, really positive in that regard. And the greatest thing is the funds that we raised through this event that we can give back to the real needy portions of our society. We raised about just close to 50,000 Namibian dollars through the entry fees. Nedbank sponsored the whole setup. We also made a decision, to double that as Nedbank, and that's why we can hand over today a check of over 100,000 Namibian dollars to the Mamadou Centre, where there's a real need, and I'm really excited to see. Hopefully, this can make a difference to a few kids' lives.
Obviously, Nedbank was a really good sponsor and very generous sponsor to work with, so it was great working with them. Yeah, it was very positive feedback, and there might be another one should we go into another lockdown.
Mamadou as an organization has been founded in 2008, and we are registered since that date with Ministry of Health as a welfare organization, and we started operating with the children in 2011. The aim of Mamadou is to help orphans and vulnerable children coming from this area, but supporting them while they are staying in a family. It can be their family, it can be somebody else, but we are not a proper orphanage because no child wants to stay in an orphanage. We believe that education is everything, so we sponsor the most promising and talented children and send them to private schools. So the money which we got from Nedbank is definitely going into their school funds.
Gwen Lister put out a tweet and said, look, let's get ready, something is coming up, and what can we as citizens do to help those around us who are less fortunate. It's culminated to something that I don't think any of us thought would be possible, and as long as there are donations that are coming in, the giving will continue. We've got an outreach for about 400 households that have already been identified. The vetting process is underway, so by Friday those who will be receiving should receive an SMS with a specific number, identity number, which they then bring to the distribution point.
Side by Side was registered in 2013. It's an organization that supports families that has children with special needs or different type of disabilities. The aim of Side by Side is to give hope and to help these families understand their children's disability, and in the end to talk their children's language before we teach the children to talk our language. Organizations like Side by Side is completely reliant on donations that we receive from the public. We don't get a lot of international support, so all of our funding comes from local businessmen and local people. So having this awareness being done through Nedbank and through organizations like this really supports not only the community but non-profits like us that really are fighting for the rights of these children.